Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is a few days after Christmas and I am looking at all of the books that I got for Christmas and seeing just how ridiculous it is. But I did want to share them with you guys. So I'm going to show you the books that I got for Christmas this year. Don't judge me, it's quite a lot. Alright, the first two are Neil Gaiman gift editions. So this one is the Graveyard book, and it's kind of worse for the wear, but this edition is kind of hard to find, so I'm okay with it being a little worn. These also wear really easily because I read the Stardust edition of this, and it looked kind of like this when I was done with it. The next one is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and it's also one of the gift editions. These are just really lovely looking, and before I knew how easily they damaged, I was wanting to collect all of the editions in this. I still might, but I don't know. They are quite easily damaged. And then we have An Island of Our Own by Sally Nichols, and this is just a book that I think I found through Goodreads and had put on my Amazon wish list, and my mother purchased it. And it's actually quite small and the text is pretty big, so this is definitely a contender for easy book to get through. This will probably be on my TBR for the TBR Takedown-a-thon. Just TBR Takedown. And then next I have a pair of graphic novels, which are the first volume of Lumberjanes and the second volume of Lumberjanes. I have finished the first volume. I read it on my iPad. I think I've read part of the second volume, but not all of it. So I'm excited to get to this, and I will probably be reading I'll probably reread this one and then read this one in the beginning of the year for sure. And then I have two kind of non-fiction-y books. The first one is the Tone It Up Fit, Fierce, and Fabulous book. I do the Tone It Up workout program and nutrition plan, or do it. I can never manage to stay on it for long enough to actually see the effects, but I'm trying again this year to get back to eating better and working out regularly. So this is a fun flip through. Probably not something I'll read cover to cover, but definitely something that is fun to look through. And then the second one is the Glam Guide by Fleur de Force, who is a beauty guru here on YouTube and probably one of the most lovely people on YouTube. Her vlog channel is so fantastic. I feel like it's funny because when I got this, my husband was like, oh, that's Fleur. She's one of the few YouTubers that he really like recognizes, and especially for vlog channels that he actually cares about at all. So I thought that was funny. This is just really beautiful and will also be a fun flip through. So the next one I don't have with me because even though he gave it to me, my dad borrowed it back because he went to Florida this week, and he is borrowing The Career of Evil by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. I still haven't read the second one in this series because it deals with stuff that makes me cringy. So I haven't read it. I did really enjoy the first one, so I'm going to make an effort to read both of these this year, but I just have the dust jacket because my dad actually has the book. I ended up with quite a lot of hardcovers this year, I think because a lot of the books on my wish list were newer releases, and so my mother just pulled them off Amazon. This, however, is not a new release. This is an older book that's really hard to get your hands on, so the fact that this is in such beautiful condition is kind of surprising. But this is Lee Smith, Annie Dillard, and the Hollins Group, and this is about a group of writers from a certain time period at Hollins, which is the university that I went to, and I have been wanting to read this just because I love anything that has to do with Hollins, and I feel like this is going to be really fascinating because this group of writers was really influential in sort of like the creative writing department at Hollins and making it what it is today. And I wasn't a creative writing major, and I didn't take any creative writing classes, but it's still really fascinating because it's a huge part of the history of my school. And then on the newer releases side, I have A Spool of Blue Thread by Annie Tyler. I don't think I have to say much about this. It is getting fantastic reviews, and from the moment I saw it, I really wanted it. And then another one is The Cherry Harvester by Lucy Sana, and this looked so good. It's basically, I believe it's set in World War II, and it's like something about a family and maybe prisoners of war who work on their farm or something like that, and the daughter maybe falls in love with one of the prisoners of war. I think that's the premise, but I could be confusing that with another book that I also think I have. But anyways, when I read the synopsis of this, I wanted it immediately, and so I am excited to be able to read this one next year. This is the book that I think maybe is a similar plot, but a different cast of characters, or maybe they're not even remotely the same, but The Japanese Lover by Isabel, not even gonna try. But this one, also, the moment I read the plot, I really knew I wanted to read it. I just love historical fiction, especially ones that have a little bit of romance or family drama thrown in, so this seemed right up my alley. And then I have this beauty, which is Along the Infinite Sea by Beatrice Williams, and I heard about her through Lauren Willig because they collaborated on at least 2 books that are coming out this year, but this, I'm thinking, falls in the historical romance genre, because that's where the rest of that sort of group of women's books fall generally, maybe. Anyways, this sounded fantastic, and I still haven't read any of her other ones, but I've heard really good things about the other ones. But this is the one of all of her works that really caught my attention. So yeah, and the cover is absolutely stunning. You can't really tell in the lighting or on camera, but it's like one of those shiny covers. So beautiful, excited. And then The Affinities, which is something that I am really, really looking forward to reading. This one, I know that it has to do with social media and like a world where social media kind of takes over or something like that. Like, it gives me the sort of vibe of that what everybody says Feed is about, which is a book I have borrowed from a friend and need to read, but also Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom, where it talked about how like your popularity dictated like your status in the world. I think that is sort of where this is coming from, except like it's social media. Like if social media were to dictate our well-being, like our worth in the world or something like that. I could be completely off, but I think that's what this was about. And I promise I am almost done. I have Vicious by V.E. Schwab, which I'm sure most of you have heard about. I have not read anything by Victoria Schwab or V.E. Schwab, and this was the one that I really wanted to pick up first, so I'm happy to have it. And then I have 2 very talked about books on BookTube this year. One of them is Fangirl. No, I've never read Fangirl, but now I'm going to read it, and relatively soon. A lot of people have raved about this, including some of my in real life friends whose opinions I really trust on books have said how good this is and have told me I have to read it. So I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna read Carry On, because it's gotten a lot of really good hype, and I want to know what it's about, because everybody says it's sort of like a Harry Potter fanfic type thing, and I know it has something to do with Fangirl, but I'm interested to see what all the hype is about on this one, and to read it like Fangirl and then read this one right after it. So I'm gonna do that. And then the last one is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I've heard mixed reviews about this, but the concept sounds really, really interesting, so I wanted to read it and, you know, figure out how I feel about it for myself. And the cover just makes me laugh. I don't know, it's really cute. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this one too. So I have a large variety of books to pick from. A lot of freaking hardcovers, so I don't know where those are gonna go on my shelf because they take up so much room. So yeah, that's basically my Christmas book haul and all of the books that I now have to find a place for on my shelves. I hope that I enjoy all of them. I am going to make an effort after this to buy less books and to start using my library, because I've never had a library card, or haven't had a library card since I was a kid. But I'm going to get one this year, and I'm going to try to use my library more and stop buying so many books that I haven't actually read and don't know how I feel about. So yeah, you'll hear more about these things in my goals video, which is coming up a little ways down the road, but I did want to share with you the books that I got for Christmas. Did you guys get any books for Christmas? If you did, tell me what you got or what your favorite was that you got. And if you've read any of these books, tell me where I should start because I would love your opinions. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!